Okay, hello everybody. Today we're here in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 in the Diamond DA42. We have a 202 nautical mile flight from Papa Delta X-Ray Portland International to Tango India Whiskey Tacoma Narrows. Both of those are payware airports, so we should have some awesome airport eye candy for today's flight. We're flying with real weather and it is rainy, so we'll be flying IFR using the beta version of sayintentions.ai AIATC. Should be awesome, so let's hop into the pilot seat and get started. Alright, let's run through the before start checklist. So our aux pumps are off, fuel selectors are on, power levers are idle, our fuel pumps are off, our gear selector is down, avionics master, electronic master is off, engine master off, pitot heat off, alternators on, voter switches to auto, our light switches are all off, the emergency switch is off and guarded, ELT over to the right here is armed. Our circuit breakers are all in. Our flaps are up. We'll head back down here and get the electric master on. There we go. And as that boots up, we'll check our flight controls. Controls are free and correct. Turn on the second screen here, and then we'll take our flaps down, check that the right and left flap are traveling freely and going down. We'll bring them back up. For today's video, just like the last one, I am using one of my real aviation headsets, which are my David Clarks, connected through a Flight Solo GA aviation adapter to my laptop. So head down here, do the gear fire detection test. That looks good. Next, we'll do the variable elevator stop test. So we're going to pull full aft on the controls and push full throttle. And you can hear and see the stick moving to keep me from stalling. We'll go back. That's working well. Next, we'll check our fuel quantity left, right. Perfect. We got full tanks for this flight. Now we'll head up to the top and get the strobes on. Check that the prop area is clear as we get ready to start. Sort of. We can't quite get rid of the ground guys. We'll get the left engine on. We'll watch for the glow indicator to extinguish. Then we'll turn the keys to the left. Now head over to the display, make sure that we've got oil pressure coming up in the green within 3 seconds. That looks good. We'll toggle over and see that we're generating power from the engine. So that also looks good. Right engine on, wait for the glow indicator to extinguish. Turn the keys to the right. And again, check that the right engine oil pressure is in the green. It is. And we've got power, so we've got a good start. Next, we'll head down to the fuel selectors. We're going to temporarily put them into cross-feed. We'll do the pitot heat test, so we'll turn that on. The enunciators have extinguished. We'll turn that back off. We'll turn that back on prior to taking off. And we could bring the avionics master on. And once that boots up, we can check our FMS. We'll also get some of our lights on while we're waiting. There we go. Flight plan's loaded up. We'll see if that's what ATC actually gives us. I'll talk about that in the flight brief. Take the fuel selectors out of crossfeed, back on to on. Alright, so we'll dial in the ATIS and get the weather next.
Portland International Airport information November.
So this ATIS is coming right from sayintentions.ai, and if you listen to it, it's got tons of detail.
Visibility 10. Sky conditions, view at 2300 feet. Broken at 3100 feet. Solid overcast at 5000 feet. Temperature 11. Dew point 7. Altimeter 3.
So let me open up for flight, and I'll take you through the flight brief. So we're flying IFR. It's a nice simple IFR flight. We're following the Victor 287 radial between Battleground and Olympia, which is nice and straightforward. There's a minimum en route altitude of 6,000, so we're going to file for 8,000.
Caution for increased bird activity.
Now we'll dial in the altimeter that we heard from the ATIS.
Flow control in effect for Sierra Yankee Victor Romeo.
And next up, we're going to call clearance delivery and get our IFR clearance. Portland clearance, Diamond 4271 Quebec, IFR to Tacoma, ready to copy with information November.
Diamond 4271 Quebec, Portland clearance cleared to the Tacoma Narrows Airport via the WAMI 4 departure, then as filed. Climb and maintain 8,000. Departure on 124.35, squawk 2423. Expect runway 10 left for departure.
Clear to Tacoma Narrows via WAMI 4 departure, then as filed, climb and maintain 8,000, departure 124.35, squawk 2423, Diamond 4271 Quebec. Alright, they added a SID. If we pull up the plate, we can see that's for turbojet only, but this is the beta version of IFR, and they're still sorting all of this out. The SID is straightforward, 103 heading, up to 540 feet, then direct river Costa Caddis, WAMI.
Diamond 71 Quebec, readback, correct.
So we're going to roll with it and just load that procedure into our FMS. Portland ground, Diamond 4271 Quebec, ready to taxi with information November. We're located at the north ramp.
Diamond 4271 Quebec, Portland ground taxi to runway 10 left via Kilo, hold short of runway 10 left.
Taxi and hold short, 10 left via Kilo, Diamond 4271 Quebec. This is beta software, not the final version of Say Intentions, and they just recently added IFR, which they are still working out the features to, but I actually think it's a lot of fun, and I've tried a bunch of IFR flights, and I think it's polished enough that we can share what the work in progress looks like here on the channel. This is Flightbeam Studios' payware version of Portland International, which is just a fantastic payware airport.
Falcon 762 Foxtrot Romeo, hold short of runway 23, traffic on final approach.
Provo ground, Cessna 4962 Lima, ready to taxi to the active.
You can see the windsock up ahead, and it's a pretty windy day, and we've got a pretty good crosswind to deal with on takeoff with some gusts.
Taxi to runway 36 via Alpha Bravo Alpha, cross runway 18, contact tower 125.3 for Cessna 4962 Lima.
Portland Tower, Diamond 4271 Quebec, holding short, runway 10 left at Kilo 1, ready for departure.
Diamond 4271 Quebec, Portland Tower, runway 10 left, line up and wait.
Runway 10 left, line up and wait, Diamond 4271 Quebec.
Diamond 71 Quebec, winds 180 at 12. Runway 10 left, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 10 left, Diamond 4271 Quebec.
Bonanza 24 Romeo, runway 10, cleared for takeoff.
I probably could have pulled up to the numbers for the line up and wait instruction, but I like to use all the runway, so we're taking off here from the display's threshold. Positive rate, gear up. Because we're running with a longer video today, I've trimmed out the silences between ATC and response, but if you'd like to see an unedited version of that, just watch my last video on VFR diversions. Okay, we're going to fly heading 103 up to 540 feet.
Diamond 71 Quebec, contact departure.
Over to departure, Diamond 71 Quebec.
Jejuair 227, welcome to Jeju, contact ground.
Portland departure, Diamond 4271 Quebec, 1,900, climbing 8,000.
Diamond 4271 Quebec, Portland approach. Radar contact. Climb and maintain 8,000, turn left, heading 330 vectors to battleground. Then own navigation.
Climb and maintain 8,000, left heading 330 vectors battleground, then own nav, Diamond 4271 Quebec.
Vancouver approach, Canada 0427 with you, descending through 8,700 feet with Papa.
Okay, they took us off the SID and gave us direct vectors to battleground, so we've got that set up in the heading bug.
Diamond 71 Quebec, contact Seattle Center on 128.15.
Over to Seattle Center, 12815, Diamond 4271 Quebec. Seattle Center, Diamond 4271 Quebec, 6,800, climbing 8,000, direct battleground, Bravo Tango Golf.
Diamond 4271 Quebec, Seattle Center. Good evening. Altimeter 3003.
3003, Diamond 4271 Quebec.
We're going to put it down to the field over here, Center. Can you get a helicopter dispatch to rescue us and bring coffee? 6-3 Echo.
Those vectors work pretty well. You can see on the last screen that the line was taking me direct to battleground with the heading.
Locale Pro, Spirit 5 Zulu Golf is 4 miles to the west of Akatia Wells, Lima 90, would like VFR flight following for Gillespie.
Flying in the clouds is pretty surreal, and nobody does clouds better than Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Diamond 71 Quebec. Expect the ILS runway 17 approach into Tacoma Narrows. Be advised that IFR approaches are still under development and are unlikely to work properly at this time. Improvements are being made daily, but strap yourself in for a bumpy arrival. Diamond 71 Quebec descend and maintain 5,000 turn right heading 355 vectors for the ILS runway 17 approach.
Going to approach on 135.35, Cessna 4962 Lima.
Diamond 71 Quebec, contact Seattle approach on 120.1.
Over to approach 120.1, Diamond 4271 Quebec. Seattle approach, Diamond 4271 Quebec, 5,200, descending 5,000, ILS 17 Tacoma.
Diamond 4271 Quebec, Seattle approach, roger. Altimeter 2997.
2997, Diamond 4271 Quebec. Alright, looking out the window, I can see the beginning of a problem. We picked up a little bit of rime ice on the spinner and the leading surfaces of the engine and the wing, and on the right wing as well. Fortunately, ATC already has us descending for our approach, so I think that we're going to end up in some warmer air shortly here. We do have some de-icing capabilities on the DA42, so we'll head over here and get de-icing on. And it's tempting to try to do a PIREP for icing. I wonder if Say Intention supports that.
American 1877. Diamond 71 Quebec, descend and maintain 2,000, turn right heading 005.
Descend and maintain 2,000, right heading 005, Diamond 4271 Quebec.
Quebec, 6 miles from CF17. Turn right heading 040, descend and maintain 2,000 until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway 17 approach.
Right heading 040, descend and maintain 2,000 until established. Cleared ILS runway 17 approach, Diamond 4271 Quebec.
Diamond 71 Quebec, turn right heading 125.
Right heading 125 to Diamond 71 Quebec.
Diamond 4271 Quebec, Seattle approach, contact Tacoma Tower on 118.5.
Over to tower on 118.5, Diamond 4271 Quebec. Tacoma Tower, Diamond 4271 Quebec, ILS, runway 17.
Diamond 4271 Quebec, Tacoma Narrows Tower, cleared ILS approach, runway 17, report established.
04 takeoff, copy the wind, American 3509.
Alright, we got a visual on the runway.
Foxtrot Alpha 2, cleared for takeoff, runway tree 2. Cleared for takeoff, runway tree 2, Bonanza 64, Foxtrot Alpha 2.
Really getting kicked around here, and time to turn off the autopilot. That's better. The autopilot was overcorrecting, and I can kind of go with the flow here and smooth everything out.
Santa Barbara Tower, Bonanza 730, Papa Charlie, inbound to land, full stop with Papa. We're about 7 miles to the west. Or east, rather.
Diamond 4271 Quebec, Tacoma Narrows Tower. Welcome to Tacoma Narrows. Contact ground on 121.8.
Over to tower, over to ground on 121.8, Diamond 4271 Quebec. See ya. Tacoma ground, Diamond 4271 Quebec. Clear runway 17 at Alpha 2, taxi to GA parking.
Diamond 4271 Quebec, Tacoma Narrows, ground taxi to Georgia parking via Alpha. Have a good day. Taxi
to parking via Alpha, Diamond 4271 Quebec. Alright, as we taxi back, we'll do the debrief. This was an awesome IFR flight in some challenging conditions. IFR is a new addition for SaneTensions.ai, and it is really cool that you can fly IFR or VFR. And even though it's new and they're still adding features to it and working out everything, it worked pretty awesome for this flight. I had tons of handoffs. I was busy the entire flight. It was much more fun than a typical flight in Microsoft Flight Simulator where you'd set on the autopilot and just kind of forget about it, because you actually had a workload. So I hope you enjoy realistic general aviation content like this. If you do, be sure to click that like button, leave me a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks, as always, for flying along with me, and stay tuned for further flight adventures.